Try this method one time and it will absolutely change everything. Because a lot of times when you're manifesting things, when you're trying to manifest the life of your dreams, you get caught up in all of this effort and trying to stay in your wish fulfilled and trying to disregard things that contradict your manifestations, when in fact it's supposed to be enjoyable, it's supposed to be fun. So you must tell yourself through this process that there's no rush. There is no rush. You're supposed to, when you are grateful for the present moment and you appreciate your life as it is right now, that's when you're in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So a lot of times when you're visualizing at night, or you're affirming at night, or you're scripting, a lot of times that's all you have to do. And then you just have to be very grateful for the rest of your life throughout the day. Anytime you get a moment to be grateful, you're grateful for that, and you're falling asleep as a new concept of self. A lot of times that will manifest things into your life really, really quickly. But what I've seen a lot of times recently, I've seen this where people are trying to visualize, they're trying to manifest stuff into their life, and they're overwhelmed, and they become like in this chaotic state where they're like, oh, they're in fear, and they're using so much effort to try to avoid certain things and trying not to react to certain things. When this is happening, you have to tell yourself this. You have to say, listen, you have to tell yourself, stop it. There's no rush. There's no rush. My manifestation is already created. Creation is finished. My manifestation is already done. It's already finished. I just have to connect with it. I don't have to go anywhere to get it. I have to assume that I already have it now. I don't have to go anywhere. There's no rush. Stop rushing to your manifestations. And when you're having things going on in your life that are difficult and there's obstacles coming in your direction while you're manifesting the new version of yourself, those things are happening. You have to view those things as they're happening for your benefit, and you will eventually see that that's exactly what's going to happen. Those things are creating a version of yourself that can sustain the wealth that you want, the business that you want, the brand that you want to build, the person that you want to be. You have to develop, you have to obtain certain traits and habits within yourself so you can overcome obstacles easily. If you're trying to be ultra successful business person, or you're trying to just 10x your business, you have to learn how to communicate better. There's things that are going to happen to you that are going to teach you how to do that. And you may not notice it at first, is why these obstacles are happening. But a lot of times you have different things that come into your world, or people that come into your world where you think that they're negative, or they're this, that, and the other, and these are family members that you want to try to get away from. But really, that's the simulation. That's the subconscious mind sending you certain things to level you up in the simulation, so that way you can have that business. That way you can deal with people like that where it doesn't affect you, where you can still manage your business and do 10 other things at the same time. Maybe you can't do that right now, and that's why it bothers you so much. That's why you can't handle those types of things, because you're not the version of yourself that you want to be yet. Sometimes you have to face that stuff head on and realize this is happening for my benefit, so how can I accept this as a high frequency? How can I accept this low frequency person as a high frequency person? You simply by using it for your benefit, by seeing it as your benefit, be like, and look at it exactly in that way. If I can learn how to deal with this person without becoming negative too, then I can deal with anyone at any time and anything in with my business. Anything you're dealing with the business, you're going to deal with stuff like that. You have to learn how to work yourself through that kind of stuff. That way you can get to that next level with your business and sustain a very successful business. And a lot of times that's the secret, that's the key to your success, is going through these different things and accepting low frequency as a high frequency. Because as soon as you start viewing low frequency in a high frequency state, it's no longer low frequency, and it's leveling you up. Because remember, we're living in a world, an observatory world, a participatory world. How you participate and observe your world actually changes it and actually shifts and transfers you within the simulation to a different world. So as you start to see low frequency as a high frequency, it's no longer low frequency. Now it's a high frequency, and now you can use that for your benefit. And now you're like, wait a minute. And you realize that in the moment when someone's low frequency around you, be like, okay, so I want to be around this person more, because I want to learn how to deal with people like this, because I want to be a coach. I want to be a business owner. So I have to learn how to assist people like this or use this information for my benefit. My grandfather told me this a long time ago. It took me years to understand it. When I was in prison, I talked to him and he said, listen, if you can learn to be happy in there, you can learn to be happy anywhere. And it took me years to figure that out. And that's the same sort of thing. It's the same sort of example that I was giving you. When you can learn to deal with low frequency people, you can learn to deal with anybody and at the highest levels and grow your business and succeed in anything within your reality, and you're ready for anything. And then you lose anxiety, you lose fear. You lose all of the fear and anxiety and the stresses that you had before. You don't have those anymore because you've dealt with every different type of person. And I had to deal with that when I was in prison. 99% of the people in prison are all low frequency, negative people, ungrateful for everything. It's everybody else's fault. It's why they're in there. It's the judge's fault. It's their mom's fault. It's their brother's fault. It's their attorney's fault. It's the laws. It's the court's fault. It's everybody's fault but their own. Okay, that low frequency. I had to learn to deal with all of those types of people and stay in a high frequency at the same time. So now I can deal with anyone without reacting. And once you get to that level where you've dealt with this many people, because the subconscious mind's giving me that, because of the visualization of the person that I'm trying to become, that's why I was put in that situation. Not saying that anyone else has to go to prison for that. Okay, but that's happening in your reality now. And you could step into this new version of yourself by simply understanding that. And as you start to develop this by meeting different people and dealing with different people for months and maybe possibly even years as you go, you're going to lose all your stress and anxiety, because any situation you go in, you're going to be ready for it. You're like, there's nothing that I haven't been through already that I can't handle. So you walk in there with already picturing an outcome that you want to see. Then it starts changing your imagination. Then your story changes, and then your concept of self changes. And that's what the simulation was trying to do the whole time, is create this new version of yourself. But now that you've dealt with every different type of low frequency person, you walk into any situation and you're ready for anything. Okay, you're right there. You're a master at this stuff. You've raised your level of concept of self so high that you're ready for anything. And now your imagination is already picturing you being the winner, you prevailing, you being more successful, because you're ready for anything. You no longer have that negative. You're like, oh, am I gonna do okay here, or am I gonna screw this up? No, you don't have any of that in your mind, because you've already been through all that. You've already succeeded everywhere. You've already been through everything possible, and now you're ready. Nothing scares you anymore. You don't have any fear. You're ready to turn that camera on and create your own brand. You're ready to start your own business. There's no one that can affect you anymore. You've been through the mud. I mean, you've been through hell. You've been through it. And sometimes that'll happen as you're changing your concept of yourself. But you need to start viewing this stuff as it's happening for your benefit, because it is. And as soon as you start viewing it that way, that low frequency now turns to a high frequency. Now it's in a high frequency. Now you're in your wish fulfilled. As soon as you make that mindset change ever so slightly, boom, everything changes. Now it's all high frequency. Now it's high frequency, high frequency, high frequency, high frequency. Doesn't matter who you meet that's low frequency. You never accept it as low frequency, because you know that this is happening for your benefit. And then that low frequency goes right to high frequency. And then you knock it out. Boom, you're done. All right, then you raise your level up again and again and again and again. Now you're like leveling up, like in a video game. What's that, like World of Warcraft? I played that like 30 years ago or something. And they had it goes all the way up to like level 60 or something like that. And it takes so long to get to, you're like level 1, level 2, level 3. It took me like 6 months, I think, when I was playing that when I was a kid, to get to like level 20 or something. This stuff is leveling you up to like level 40, level 50, to the highest levels, level 60, to where you can do anything within the game, within the simulation. You can do anything, and other people can't affect you. They can't even hurt you. Like if for example, like in that game, like if a level 10 goes up to a level 50 and tries to hit him with his axe or something, or the mage or the warriors within the games, it doesn't even affect him. His armor is built up. It's too powerful, too strong. None of that stuff can affect him, okay? And in this simulation, this is what we're going through to level ourselves up. You have to go through these quests similar to those types of video games, but this is a simulation, and this is for your success, your businesses, your happiness, everything. You're leveling yourself up within the simulation to be better, and sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable. But just like my grandfather said, if I can learn to be happy in prison, I can learn to be happy anywhere. And it took me so long to figure that out. And now that I got out, I've dealt with so much stuff while I was in there. Now I'm like, life is so easy. I'm so grateful for every opportunity that I get because I figured out how to be happy in prison. I figured out how to be happy in the lowest frequency places. And now, and I remained in a high frequency when there was nothing but low frequency around. And now I'm like, I have this force field around me where I just don't accept low frequency at any time. And anyone can develop these skills. And some of you out there already have this, but all of you can attain it. But you have to stop viewing your world this way. You stop viewing low frequency people as you need to get away from them. You need to hide from them. No, you need to be around them more. So that way you can learn how to navigate and use that for your strength and lose anxiety, lose fear, and learn how to navigate around that and not see it as low frequency, but rather see it as high frequency. Because when I see someone in low frequency and they're telling me, oh, their life is so horrible and this, that, and the other, be like, oh, wait a minute, I'll get an idea from that person to help 100 other people or 1,000 other people. Or I'll get an idea, be like, oh my gosh, I can see what's wrong with this person and their life and what they're doing wrong. I'm going to make a video and help 10,000 people tomorrow about this very topic because I met this low frequency person. Maybe I'm not going to directly help that person because they're not ready to hear it. But I can use that information that I just got from this low frequency person, turn around and make a video or content or assist 100 people or 1,000 people with what I just experienced through that low frequency. I turn the low frequency into a high frequency to help thousands of people. And you can do this all the time. And the more things that you go through, the more uncomfortable situations you go through, the stronger that you're going to become, the more resilient you're going to become, and the more that you can handle anything. The more that you can handle anything. All right, I love you guys. I just wanted to get this video out. That way I could really express that was really on my mind. I'm in the F-250 right now. This is a diesel. I don't think you can hear it. I'm revving it up. I've been revving them all up. I might get an exhaust system on this thing, but this thing has like over 500 horsepower, 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. And yeah, this thing's just a monster. But I mean, of course, it's not that fast, but the power in this thing's insane. You could pull a house in this thing. But the interior, this is the ride quality, because all the shocks were redone by Harley Davidson. All the seats, the whole interior was redone. It was raised, had bigger tires, bigger wheels, everything. Upgraded, everything it was like $45,000 in upgrades on this, and then they send it back to Ford. This truck, I love this truck. Like this truck's better than the TRX and the Raptor R. It's not quite as fast, but you could tune these things and make them just as powerful, just as fast as those little trucks. Just one little tune. But yeah, I like this. This is a beautiful truck. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I can't do any revving in this thing. You can't really hear it, but we'll do one. I'll do one in the TRX next. That truck sounds really good. That's got the supercharged Hellcat engine in it. The 6.2, over 700 horsepower in that thing. But I love you guys, and remember, sometimes you have to face the low frequency and turn it into a high frequency. That way you can help others and be in that concept of yourself. You're helping yourself in the process of all of this, but your intention is to help others. And that's what helps you, okay? Because we're all one being, we're all one energy. Creation is finished. You're not manifesting anything. You're just manifesting different portions of what's already created, okay? Everything's already created. So remember that. There's no rush. So don't be in a rush. You don't have to go anywhere to get your manifestation. Stop pushing. Stop pushing and feel yourself into this new state. There's no rush. Tell yourself this. There's no rush. There's no rush. There's no rush. There's no rush. I love my life the way it is right now. It's perfect. I love it. I love life. And step into that version of yourself. There's no rush. This is all effortless. Manifestation is finished, or creation is finished. And you're just manifesting different portions of what's already created. I love you guys. Let's go.